Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Momentum. This is number 271. That's 271 days of coming live. This is your first time on the channel. My name is Matt Beer. We talk about real estate investing. We talk about real estate in general, business, entrepreneurship, outsourcing, virtual assistants. There's so much stuff that we've been able to cover over the last 271 days. And I hope you go back and check out some of those videos. As always, guys, if you get value from the stuff that we do here, just want to implore you to head over to the YouTube channel, hit subscribe. It helps more than you know. We're growing. We're doing some really cool things, and I hope to continue. As you guys can read in the title, this is a seller appointment recap. I'm going to continue to do those here on the channel. So we actually are in the business, right? So I step in. I will help the team with getting contracts, going out on appointments, and that's why I'm also excited to share that with you guys. Like, I'm never above doing the work. I think a lot of times, business owners are like, they, as soon as they possibly can, they outsource the sales part. But hey, look, getting deals done and getting contracts is the most important part of your real estate business. So I always will say, to the best of your ability, yes, get help with sales, but for the most part, is you should hold that responsibility, or someone that you know who can actually accomplish and who can execute on the sale should be holding that responsibility for as long as possible, because that's what makes the business grow, right? Don't try to outsource that too soon. And then don't be afraid to hop back in. And that's what we're documenting here. So let's get rocking and rolling on this topic. We had a great appointment today. This was a seller that we've been following up with for God knows. I feel like this lead has been on our database for like 14 months. And I'm going to give you guys a quick numbers breakdown, but then also kind of tell you what happened on that appointment and some unique situations that I think a lot of you guys would probably walk away with too early in the conversation without some very important questions, and how to position yourself to win. Juanero, what's up, man? Thanks for hopping in. Good to see you. Good night. What's up? What's up? All right, so let's look at this together. Turn on my camera. Here we go. Okay, so this is a mobile home. Okay, the ARV on this mobile home. This is an appointment we went to today on Saturday. The ARV on this house is roughly about 210,000. Okay, crazy, but in Arizona, ARV was, well, for this particular property is 210,000. Let me see if I can draw this out. It's got a little bit more space so you guys can see it better. So 200 210,000. So again, if this is your first time on the channel, ARV stands for after repair value, what this property is worth on the market. Now, the seller's asking price, I'm going to put AP. The seller's asking price is roughly, well, they want as much as possible, right? As anyone. They roughly were hoping to get somewhere in the $130,000 range. Okay. We can see where on the top end, it would be worth it, right? Based on the ARV, asking 210, asking price 130. Okay, maybe try to negotiate a little bit depending on the repairs. So that's the next line item here. So based on the repairs, what does that look like? So the repairs on this property is probably in the neighborhood of $35,000. Okay, so $35,000 in repairs to get this to the point where I know we could sell it for that 210,000, this number here. Okay, so still, if we were to buy it at 130, put about $35,000 in minus commissions and fees, the deal would probably still pencil out. But I'm going to need it for, obviously, I want it a little bit less, because it really just depends on what the seller's hoping to do. So the interesting thing here is, guys, I've seen it on this YouTube channel. I see it in the Facebook groups. A lot of times people just want to dish out offers, right? And at this appointment, as I'm talking to the seller, it didn't matter how close, or even if I paid this number here, it did not matter, because they had a couple things that was important for this particular transaction. Yes, the numbers worked. I would like to get the price a little bit less. And here's a little nugget, guys, I guess you could say, is we never want to give the seller their asking price exactly, because they get seller's remorse. They're going to feel like, well, Jesus, should I ask for more money? Right? So they always want to play that game, regardless if they say it or not. They typically, 99% of the time, they want to play that game. But again, our job is to find the pain, right? Numbers, put here. Numbers do not indicate pain. Okay, very important to note. Numbers do not indicate pain. There has been plenty of times where I've talked to sellers and the numbers worked out and I still was not able to get the deal because there wasn't enough pain. Okay? Numbers do not, a little red star here. No, numbers do not indicate pain. So just because the asking price may work, if they're not motivated or ready to move forward, I can talk to them blue in the face. So, couple hurdles on this particular deal, right? I'm going to put here in the hurdle. This is going to be the hurdle section. Hurdles. Number one, this is owner occupied. Okay. Owner occupied. So when it's owner occupied, I care about, okay, well, where are you going to go? Right. That's an important question. And I'm going to put here a little arrow. Where will you go? Like if you sold the property, do you have somewhere to go? And for these people, the answer was no. They didn't have somewhere to go. So that led me into the second hurdle. The second hurdle was that they need to get approved for their next property. They want to buy something, but they need to get pre-approved. They're going to get a loan on the next house. They're going to take the money that they're getting from the sale. They're going to use a portion of it for a down payment, but they need to get pre-approved. So they need to get pre-approved. Okay. For next house. And based on their credit, right? I mean, they were telling me all these numbers based on their credit. And I started diving deeper when I figured this stuff out. When I'm asking questions like, where would you go? What would you do? Okay, what's that dream scenario? One of my favorite questions is if someone can wave a wand, what's the perfect case scenario, right? Well, they want to find a new house. But before they can do that, they need to get pre approved. And then leads to number three, they need to house shop. Right? They need to first figure out what they can shop at as far as the price point is concerned, and then they got a house shop. Okay. So there's multiple steps here. Some people that are involved in these steps, so they need to get pre-approved. Be great if I had a loan officer. Whoops. Be great if I had a loan officer I could refer them to. Right? So I'm going to put loan officer. Okay. House shop. They need a realtor. Be great if I had a realtor I could refer them to. Okay. Now, another thing. This was an elderly owner and they had years and years and years of stuff. So they would need post possession to get everything cleared out, decide where they want to move things to, right? If they want to put it in storage or if they want to put it somewhere else, I'm walking them through this process, but they need post possession, right? So this would be, we do an escrow holdback, and I can explain what that is. We do an escrow holdback in the event they decide not to leave. I'm dealing with a property right now where the tenant doesn't want to leave. Escrow holdback's important. So I know that I at least have money to cover just in case they won't leave. If I got to do an eviction or if they damage the property before they leave, we do an escrow holdback. So meaning that, hey, okay, if we agree on this price and you need post possession until X date, perfect. We'll give you, 95% of your proceeds and we'll keep 5% at title until you're verified vacant, until the property is verified vacant, until you're completely gone, right? It makes the deal more advantageous for your end buyer if you're wholesaling it, and there's just more security there, right? So number 4, there's a post possession, and number 5, they need moving help. She was an old lady. She had a cane, and her son just not capable, and dad had a lot of furniture, so they need moving help. So wouldn't it be great if I knew or had a moving team? So what you guys are going to find in this real estate business is the more solutions you can offer and the more connections that you have, the more deals you're going to get, right? Because as you're solving these problems, you're also, putting yourself there as like, hey, I'm the expert. Hey, I know I can solve these problems. And great, I've worked with a lot of people with similar situations. It's not my first rodeo. We have a loan officer. I have a great loan officer. This is his name. This is his number. This is his email. I have a great realtor. We'll be happy to help you work with house shopping, right? Post possession, no problem. We'll do an escrow holdback. That's fine. Moving help, great. We have a moving team. right? So the more solutions that you can provide to any client, that is how you're going to set yourself apart. But here's the hurdles on this deal. Okay. Now, one thing that's going to come up when we're looking at when they're house shopping and the pre-approval for a next house, here's a couple things. What happens, right? I'm going to start here. What happens if they can't get pre-approved for their next house? It kills my deal, right? They can't sell me their house if they don't get pre-approved. What if they're house shopping and this takes 120 days? Who knows? It could. We don't know how long that's going to take. So the challenge with these deals, owner occupied, are totally fine. They're still great deals. They're amazing deals because everyone's going over absentee. Owner occupied is totally cool, but we got to be able to provide a solution. So for this particular person, right? If I'm solving pain and solving problems, like they need help on overcoming all of these hurdles. So guess what? Every time I overcome a hurdle here, I'm going to get a little price reduction, right? So after working through this, I always, always, always recommend, and this is how you should close this. Whenever they don't have an inherent like deadline, they don't have a specific timeline, and this is something they've been putting off, putting off, putting off. I always encourage them, say, hey, look, this is going to be a process. There's going to be a lot of moving pieces here. But if we work together and getting this ball rolling, what we're going to do is we'll have an agreement. So, number one, we need to have an agreement in place. In place. So this doesn't cost you anything. Getting you pre-approved for your next house, doing the house shopping and doing all this, it doesn't cost you anything, but it does cost me, my team members that I pay salary that's going to be put on to helping you make this happen, getting you connected to our people, right? And getting this whole process started, opportunity cost, time cost, all the things. So number one, I want to make sure that we're going to be working together. So number one, I want to make sure that we get that agreement in place, right? Now that agreement is number two. This agreement is going to be contingent. Okay, this agreement is contingent on your ability to get approved. Very straightforward. Makes sense, right? I can't buy your house if you're not moving somewhere. So my agreement is contingent on your ability to get approved for your next house, right? And then it's also number three, contingent on you moving, right? So I guess it shouldn't be moving. It should be contingent on you finding your new house. So not only just getting your ability to get approved for the house, but also continuing on you finding your house. Finding your next house, right? So for us, I don't know why Siri's popping up here, but for us, it's advantageous. Okay. For us, it's advantageous because, it makes the seller feel like, hey, well, look, number one, I can't, we got to have an agreement in place and it's contingent on your ability to get approved and contingent on you finding your next house. I can't buy your house without you finding somewhere to go, right? It's not like you're going to be selling me your house and I'm going to kick you out. No, the only way I get to buy your house, which in full transparency, Mr. Seller, is the only way I get paid. The only way I can make that happen is if number one, we get you pre-approved, and number two, you find your place, a place to move into. Okay, now this is going to be a little bit of a process. The challenge that we're going to face here, Mr. Seller, is this could take 30 days. This could take 120 days. We don't know how long it's going to take, right? But this is just a commitment that we're going to be working together to make this happen. And obviously, we'd be honored to earn your business, but this is what that's going to look like, right? And if I get them on board, now that I've solved their problems, right, I'm going to help them. We're going to help them house shop. We're going to get them pre-approved. We're fine with the post-possession. I'm going to give you guys a credit towards moving help. We're going to help you to X, Y, and Z. If I get them on board with like, oh, yeah, that makes complete sense. Oh, yeah, I got it. No, 100%. That makes sense. Then it comes down to, do you trust us working together and being able to make this happen? You just get a simple yes. And once you get that, the price becomes irrelevant. We whip out the contract and I start writing everything in. And they're like, oh, well, we haven't even agreed to a price yet. It's like, oh yeah, I know. Like I said, it's important that we help you accomplish X, Y, and Z. So again, if we can help you do that, just a quick reminder, we're gonna work to get you pre-approved. And obviously everything we do here is contingent on making sure you do get pre-approved and find your next place. Right. And this agreement that we're gonna have here is just so we can take something down to title and you're showing, hey, we're serious, we're working together. We're gonna be taking you step by step throughout this process, whether that take 30 days or 180 days or next year. It doesn't matter that we're working together. Like, realistically, where do we have to be to work together? I don't know. What's the best you can do? I mean, maybe we can do like 110, 105, right? And again, guys, at this point, the price becomes irrelevant. And it was. At today's appointment, the price was irrelevant. We're going to be getting this contract signed this coming week. Just have to square away some back ends because her ex-husband has passed away and it was this whole crazy scenario. And it's just her and her son living in the property right now, and they're going to be finding their next place. So the challenge with these is like, yes, it's great. You get a contract, you get it down to title, but we don't know when it's going to close. I mean, we have contracts that closed this year that we had contracted in 2018, right? But it is good at least to get that agreement in place so you can get the ball rolling because we want to see this thing all the way through. And for me, I set the tone of, look, this is the reason why it's important we get it in place now. Right. And honestly, in complete transparency, and this is the truth right now in Phoenix, there's been no better time to buy a house if you're going on the retail market right now because of the holiday season. We've seen the retail market cool off, and there's a ton of active listings in Casa Grande, which is where this house is. So they face less competition. So it's a win-win for both. Right. But again, guys, circling back to being good problem solvers, this is how you do it. Right. You can draw it all out. We talk about it. And I bring Kyle with me on these appointments. And like I tell Kyle, it's like, look, man, like every single situation, every single scenario is going to be a little bit different. But what you got to do is you just got to go out there and get your repetitions in, whether that be knocking on people's doors, whether that be calling and messing up, whether that be going on your own appointments and blowing up your own leads, right? Or having someone help you. If you're in Phoenix, I'm happy to help. But you got to get your repetitions in. I told him it's almost like a stand-up comedian where like before they go on like the big shows and start doing the traveling show, they practice all their material on like smaller audiences, right? And some of you guys that are watching and some of you guys who join our live seller calls and stuff, you just need to start practicing your stuff. You need to start seeing like, oh, if I say this, this is the reaction that I get. If I say that, this is the reaction I get. I told Kyle to practice on leads that we know we're not getting their deal. Say some outlandish stuff and see how they react. Right? We just got to start testing some stuff. And what you'll find is the more you test, you'll start getting some lines, you'll start getting some strategies that actually convert and you get good results. But number one, you gotta put yourself out there. You gotta be in the arena. So guys, I hope you get value from this stuff. This is the real deal. There is no fluff here. This is how you do real estate. This is how you negotiate off-market properties. You got to find the pain. And then you do your absolute best to solve their problems. And if they give you any objections when the time comes to close, it either means number one, they're going to be selling their house to someone else or talking to someone else. They want a bidding war. Or number two, you didn't solve all the problems. There's still something. There's that black swan that you don't know about. You need to dig deeper and circle back around and see what you missed. Okay. So guys, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for watching this video tonight. This is Momentum number 271. We're going to continue to bring these seller appointments and deal structures and all this stuff so you guys can see the real deal. So hopefully, again, you get value from it. And if you do, head over to your YouTube channel, hit subscribe, like this video, share it, all that good stuff. It always helps. And guys, I appreciate you tuning in and being a part of this. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great Saturday night.